Thank you very much. Much more efficient than most middle schoolers, so that was really excellent. Welcome to the 2019 Distinguished Teachers Awards ceremony. My name is Tom Healy. I'm the principal of Central Middle School, and I'm very proud and happy to host this wonderful event, one of the highlights of the year for all of us. In addition to it being a highlight for all of us, I looked at the list of distinguished teachers, and it's fitting that I feel in some ways that I'm hosting here at Central, as there are a number of the teachers on this list who I know either personally or closely professionally in many different ways. And so I can say truly and honestly that this is a very distinguished class, and I'm extremely proud of them and proud to work with them. And I just wanted to say that before we got started. And at this time, I would ask if we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. And I also have the pleasure of introducing our fine violin quartet from Greenwich High School. Please make their way to provide you some musical enjoyment to start the program. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
While we're doing that, let's say thank you to the Greenwich High School Violin Quartet. That was amazing. It must be. Hello everybody, my name is Blakely Steinbaugh. I'm here today as the chair of the Greenwich Distinguished Teachers Awards Committee. I wanted to thank Mr. Healy and Central Middle School for hosting our awards ceremony this year. I would also like to welcome everyone here today, starting with our distinguished guest, Superintendent of Greenwich Public Schools, Mr. Ralph Mayo. Chairman of the Greenwich Board of Education, Mr. Peter Bernstein. And First Selectman of the Town of Greenwich, the Honorable Peter Tessie. Additionally, there are some people in the audience I would like to recognize and thank for their support of our Distinguished Teachers Awards program. Please stand as you are mentioned. Board of Education members, including Megan Olson, who served on our committee this year. Members of the Board of Estimation and Taxation, members of the Representative Town Meeting, GPD Chief Heavey, and members of the Distinguished Teacher Awards Committee. Please stand. We also received invaluable help from the ex officio member of our committee, Director of Communications for the school system, Kim Eves, and Communication Assistant, Michael Antonaccio. Let us all thank our sponsors, PTA Council and the PTAs from every public school in Greenwich, the Kiwanis Club, the Greenwich Organization of School Administrators, the Greenwich Education Association, the members of the Distinguished Teacher Awards Committee. Thank you, sponsors, for allowing us to continue this fine tradition. Now let's take a moment to recognize all the previous honorees of the Greenwich Distinguished Teachers Awards who were able to be here today. Please stand. Big round of applause. We're fortunate to be part of a community that values our teachers and chooses to celebrate excellence. Before we begin the presentation of our distinguished teachers, I would like to give you some background information on this process. This is the 35th year of our committee and the awards, which are based upon criteria that describe characteristics of distinguished teachers. I don't think I wrote this in here, but more information on that, I think most of you guys know it, but more information is in your program, or you can go to the website. Hopefully I won't say that again in a few seconds. Our committee is composed of 20 people, representatives from the Board of Education, PTA Council, Greenwich Organization of School Administrators, Greenwich Education Association, Kiwanis, and the community at large. We are a standalone nonprofit, not related to the Greenwich Public Schools, and our members independently review packets of information on all of the nominees and complete a ballot which determines the distinguished teachers each year. The details of our process, see I told you to say that again, can be found in your program or on our website. But I forgot that. I'd like to briefly tell you about this group of teachers because it will soon become clear what the criteria are. They represent exemplars. You're looking at a combined 94 years of teaching experience, right over there. Let's come up to that. And an interesting feature of this group, though it obviously wasn't planned, it doesn't work like that, is that they represent teachers of a very diverse spectrum of students, you'll hear, from elementary all the way through the high school, of all learning profiles, and they teach a very wide range of subject matter. While there are differences in their assignments and programs, we're here today to celebrate what they have in common: excellence. They're groundbreaking, they're innovators, inspirers, mentors. They generate enthusiasm for learning in their students. They foster growth and achievement in their students in part because they are themselves diligent students of their subject matter and their craft. They collaborate with colleagues and parents. They share their knowledge with peers. Students, parents, and colleagues respect them, and they have made many contributions to their schools and the district beyond the classroom. At this point, let me introduce our first speaker, Dr. Ralph Mayo. Mr. Ralph Mayo, Superintendent of Greenwich Public Schools. That was easy.
She'll be okay. Blakely and I worked for many years on Magazine Drive, so I know she can pull it together real soon. Folks, so it's very fitting that we are holding this celebration today as it's National Teachers Appreciation Day. Back in 1953, I think it was Mike Batchelor's second year of teaching at a high school, an Arkansas teacher wrote to Eleanor Roosevelt about the need to recognize and honor the nation's teachers. Mrs. Roosevelt persuaded Congress to proclaim a day in May as National Teachers Appreciation Day. And I took that directly from the website from the Education Department. So, that must be true. Teachers, ladies and gentlemen, have always been my heroes. I spoke at the beginning of the year at Convocation about one teacher who had a major impact on my life as she taught me to read. When I mastered that skill, I was free as a bird, as I can go anywhere and experience everything as a student at Greenwich High School. I had two teachers who taught me how to communicate. I distinctly remember sitting with both Jess Summers and Joanne Hoppy as they gave me feedback on my writing assignments. They told me what needed to be fixed, but not how to fix it. They said that was up to me. They also never put a grade on a paper when they felt the maximum effort had not been put into it. So I could rewrite and confer, rewrite again, maybe confer again, maybe rewrite again, until I got it through my thick skull that this could go on forever unless I listened to them. Sometimes it took 3 to 4 rewrites before I received an actual grade. The teachers before us today are very similar to those teachers that I experienced at Greenwich High School. They have extremely high expectations, they put an enormous amount of work into their craft, and they coach their students so they may produce exemplary outcomes. These 6 caring individuals are emblematic of our entire staff, and I applaud them for never taking the easy way out. They are truly heroes. Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Blakely Steinbaugh, the chair of the Distinguished Teachers Committee. Go ahead. Right? Come on back. That's what it says on here.
It really does.
You're supposed to come up. You're supposed to introduce Peter.
You should. That's why I thought you were here. We practiced so much for this, you guys. Can you tell? Thank you, Mr. Mayo. Next, we hear from First Selectman Peter Tessie.
Good afternoon, everybody. Every May, we assemble to honor Greenwich's Distinguished Teachers of the Year. And this is the 12th and last year that I've had the honor of participating in the ceremony. I want to extend appreciation to Kim Eves for always painstakingly making sure that I'm here on time and that I'm meticulous and that I retain the 60-second time limit. I'm not going to let you down. And what best wishes to you. The educators we are gathered to honor this afternoon represent the best and brightest of the talented staff of Greenwich Public Schools. Every day, they are tasked with the challenge to nurture, instill, and share a love of learning and knowledge, as well as advocate for each of our most precious resources, our students. I believe the inspirational writer William Arthur Ward got it right when he wrote, quote, "The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires." Today we are recognizing 6 teachers in the Greenwich Public School System who have been nominated and selected as the Distinguished Teachers of the Year for their passion for learning that has inspired legions of Greenwich students. These teachers not only tell, they explain, they demonstrate, and most importantly, they inspire. Sean Harriman, Crystal Kittlesman, Kate Mizerachi, Megan Ostruska, Chris Ann Powers, and Carrie Vale. Congratulations to each of you. It is fundamental that our educational foundation is built in part with the recognition by our teachers that each child is unique, just as each teacher and each of our Distinguished Teachers of the Year is unique. Each child has their own style of learning which allows them to learn with poise, dignity, and inspiration from the lessons in their textbooks, the lessons from life, and the lessons inspired by their teachers. I hope that the influence of all Greenwich teachers will continue to be impactful and inspirational to each of our more than 8,000 students in a most positive manner. Congratulations to our distinguished teachers and best wishes to all our teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tessie. Next, we're going to hear from Ian Tiedemann, who's a colleague who is speaking on behalf of Manuel Alejandro Lopez, who's the nominator who's currently in college taking exams.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Sean Harriman to you all. And as was mentioned, I'm speaking on behalf of Manuel, who couldn't be here because he's taking his final exams. I think that's a pretty good excuse for not being here. But I wanted to share with you some of the things that Manuel wrote about Sean. Manuel moved to Greenwich from Venezuela. And when he got here, he was worried. He was starting to accept the idea that he may never catch up with some of the English literacy and fluency in the social studies that he hoped he could have had. But then he got Sean in his American history class as a sophomore, and he mentioned the following. First, he said, Mr. Harriman made the subject matter come to life. Second, he said, he didn't let me hide in the back, and he found ways to encourage me to participate. He never let me off easy, and always insisted I could do better. He gave me the confidence to succeed, and I am not alone. All of his other classmates felt the same way, that Sean gave them the confidence to succeed. As Sean's friend and colleague, I could also say that's true for me as well. I can echo all of those sentiments. Sean is a role model to me. He's always been supportive of me to help me grow as a person and as a professional. So without Sean, I wouldn't be as good as I am in the classroom today. And I owe everything to him for all the support he's given me throughout the years. So, with that said, nothing gives me greater satisfaction than introducing Sean Harriman.
Thank you, Ian. Ian is not only the hardest working teacher I have ever met, and a fellow distinguished teacher himself, but a loyal friend who has improved the quality of my life in 2 notable ways. One, introducing me to the fantastic world of Frisbee golf, and 2, inviting me to join his prestigious fantasy football league, perhaps the most competitive in the nation, made up of his friends from high school, himself, and me. I have yet to win a championship in this league in over 13 years, but I think winning this award is a lot better. So when I stepped in front of a class of students for the first time, I felt that I was meant to be there. And looking back, I subconsciously modeled my teaching after my favorite teacher in high school, who taught chemistry. I never really put much thought into why we all liked and respected him so much at the time, but I now know it was because he treated us like his equals, and with respect, and really taught us complicated science every single day. He would never belittle us, use condescension, or mean-spirited sarcasm. He could relate to us in conversation about movies, video games, sports, and music. He didn't pick favorites, and every single student in the class felt like they were part of something. My nominator, Noni Lopez, said in his letter to the DTA committee, Mr. Harriman was like being taught by a friend. It was like that with my science teacher, too. A friend is someone who you can trust, someone you can go to with a problem, and someone who has fun. When you treat all of the students with respect, earn their respect, and never forget that every child can learn, all of those things happen. And it makes this profession overwhelmingly rewarding. There are so many people who helped me get here, but I need to thank Ari Rothman and Michael Batchelor, who took a chance on me in late August of the year 2000, and who showed me the importance of knowing the content backward and forward before getting in front of a group of knowledge-hungry students. I also want to thank my wife and partner of almost 25 years, and my friend since the age of 14, Jillian, a teacher at Eastern who deserves to be up here with us, as well as my two sons, Miles and Ben, who have rewarded my life even more than this profession, something I didn't think was possible. Thank you. Thank you.
And next we're going to hear from Lisa Giametti, who's speaking on behalf of Elena Weaver, who's not feeling well.
Hi, everybody. So Manuel's not here because he had a silent exam, is that correct?
Yes.
And Elena's not here because, well, she's been sick for 2 days, so we just hope she feels better soon. So before I get started and just say what Elena wrote, I just want to say something to Crystal's mother, Audrey. Audrey, you named your daughter very appropriately, Crystal, because she is the epitome of her name. She is a bright, beautiful gem whose value is priceless. Now, this is what Elena had to say. I'm sorry, I just had to say that because I worked with Crystal for many years and she's like a sister to me. So this is what Elena says. Hello, my name is Elena Weaver and I am so honored to celebrate Crystal Kitzelman today. From the first time I met Crystal, she has been a teacher I've wanted to learn from. I'm lucky enough to be a part of the 3rd grade team at North Miamis and teach with Crystal every day. It's like working with my family. I am also lucky enough to have had Crystal as one of my daughter's 3rd grade teachers, and I appreciate Crystal through the eyes of a parent. Mrs. Kitzelman exemplifies efficiency, innovation, and true grit. Balancing life as a mom of 3 kids or a teacher of 22 3rd graders, Crystal is a positive force to all who know her. Many teachers teach, but Crystal Kitzelman inspires. Every year, her students can immediately feel her commitment to them and know that they have her trust. Crystal is a humble woman who never flaunts how much she actually contributes to our school community. For that reason, it was so important for me to recognize her. She is a genuine role model for all of us teachers and parents. Her dynamic personality embraces her journey of being a lifelong learner. She never settles and has the drive to explore refreshingness to teach our children. She embraces the successes and mistakes, and her students know they can always count on her. Crystal Kitzelman embodies the meaning of a teacher, a teammate, and a true leader who leads by example. It is my great privilege to introduce the strong, intelligent, creative, and stunning teacher, Mrs. Crystal Kitzelman.
city and was starting a new school. With great hesitation, a student walked into her new third grade classroom. The students peered up at the new girl standing at the door and quickly glanced back down at their work. A stocky woman came barreling across the room. You could see the tension in the students' bodies as she briskly walked towards the new girl. Once she found her new seat, she heard a booming voice echo through the room. "Open to page 4. The new girl will read first." Well, that shy student started stammering through the first page, and abruptly the teacher yelled, "Enough! Susie will read now." That story is the reason why I am the teacher I am today. That shy student stands before you to make sure that my students never have that experience. Oprah Winfrey once said, "No experience is wasted. Everything in life is happening to grow you up, fill you up, and to help you to become more of who you were created to be." So today, I actually want to thank that third grade teacher for that experience. I also want to say thank you to Mr. Mayo. When he spoke at the Welcome Back ceremony in August, his message was clear. Making personal connections with students was first and foremost, and the academics would come. I couldn't agree more because it is those connections that fill up my heart. The stories, challenges, laughter, and tears I have shared with my students will always be a part of me. People often ask me, "Why do you love your job?" It's the challenge of not knowing what the day will bring or even the next hour. There are days when teachers wear multiple hats. We are teachers, but we are also moms, dads, therapists, nurses, coaches, friends, you name it, we are it. This is what fills me up, but also keeps me on my toes. So thank you to all my students, past and present, for everything that you have taught me. To my amazing principal and colleagues, thank you for always listening and supporting me through the years. I especially want to say thank you to Diane Taylor, Sarah Harris, Angela Schmidt, and Sylvia Canvas. You have inspired me and taught me through your words of wisdom, advice, and encouragement. I am so fortunate to be surrounded by mentor teachers like you that grow me as a better teacher. I also want to thank the Distinguished Teacher Committee for selecting me as one of the 6 distinguished teachers from a pool of so many qualified candidates. Thank you for filling me up with happiness and more drive. To my team, where do I even begin? We often hear other people describe our team as special, and I couldn't agree more. Our friendship is a sisterhood that will forever bond us. Our collaboration and support for one another, not only in our professional lives, but in our personal ones too. You are the ones that continue to grow me, fill me, and create the teacher I am. And I can't say thank you enough to my amazing, supportive husband and mother. Thank you for your countless hours of cutting and gluing, reupholstering furniture, setting up the classroom, and delivering those midday treats. You are the ones that are always there for me at the end of the day, and simply just thank you for listening. And finally, to my 3 beautiful children. Thank you for continuing to grow me as a mother, friend, and role model. Thank you for growing me to become a better person. Thank you.
And next we have nominator Lisa Small.
Many of us have had that one exceptional teacher who has inspired us more than any other. For my son Noah, a 5th grader at Parkway, Kate Mizraki is that extraordinary teacher. She always goes above and beyond to ensure that he is not only achieving his greatest potential, both academically and personally, but that he is doing so in his own unique way. Noah describes Mrs. Mizraki as possessing an aura of kindness, positivity, and enthusiasm. She uses these gifts, as well as her boundless energy and creativity, her compassion and humanity, her intelligence and love of learning, and her never-ending devotion to her students' academic and personal well-being to create a one-of-a-kind classroom where students have a comfortable, safe place to explore, be challenged, take risks, make mistakes, try again, and be valued and celebrated for all of those efforts. What more could a parent ask for in a teacher? I have no doubt that Kate has made and will continue to make a powerful and lasting impact on my son's life, as well as the lives of our many other students. Thank you, Kate, for being your unique self, for inspiring our children to reach new heights, for loving them for who they are, and being so passionate about what you do each and every day for our children. Kate Mizrachi.
Brevity is not a strength of mine, but I will do my best. The word because is a simple but powerful word. Let me explain. Just the other day, a colleague, an aspiring teacher, shared a new picture book with me by the author Mo Willems. It just came out. The book is called Because. It's a story about chance and discovery, persistence and magic, according to the Insights Lab. It's a powerful story about how many becauses, people and events, changed a young girl's life forever. Because a new teacher shared this book with me, it helped me to put into words how I feel about being a teacher. Because my father was a high school teacher, I learned how hard and time-consuming the work was. Because there was a 7th grade teacher who believed in me, I learned to rely on my creativity to solve problems. Because of a 9-year-old girl from the South Bronx who couldn't read, I began to volunteer once a week through my corporate job. Because this girl showed me the power of connection to overcome a struggle, I enrolled in a graduate education program. Because I needed a job to pay back those loans, I started teaching in Fairfield County instead of New York City. Because I was given a chance to resume teaching after raising young children, I came to Parkway School. Because of people who provided me with wisdom and encouragement, I was motivated to take risks and try new ways to empower kids. Because of the many students who have blessed me with their honesty, their strength, resilience, creativity, humor, hugs, and love, I stand before you today to celebrate all of our victories. I'm here today because of a lot of becauses, and to each of you I offer my heartfelt thanks. While I can't name each and every one, there are a few who should know they are my because. Because one of my parents, Lisa Small, believed in me and nominated me. Because the committee took the time and effort to read over many, many deserving applications. Because my colleague, Cheryl Pierce, has supported me and endorsed my application. Because my principal, Mary Granville, has supported my teaching and endorsed my application. Because my colleagues in the ALP department, especially Bonnie O'Regan, have encouraged my unconventional teaching style. Because my colleagues at Parkway, especially Carrie Vale, have made me a stronger, kinder, and more grateful person. Because my own family, my husband, son, and I have another son and a daughter, have stood by me through every calm and storm. All of these becauses have changed my life for the better. Can we be someone else's because? I believe the answer is an overwhelming yes. Thank you.
Next nominator is Jerry Sacramento.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Sacramento, and I'm a senior at Greenwich High School. I'm in Mrs. Ostruska's AVID class, which is where I met her. I walked into Avid just after midterm exams and asked Mrs. Ostruska, "Is now the time when I can let my grades fall?" She responded, "Are you joking? There's never a time to slack off." This is a small glimpse into the many words of wisdom I have received from her. Over the past 3 years, we've been through a lot. I have come to know Mrs. Ostruska not only as a teacher, but as the person I go to whenever I have a problem. Since freshman year, Mrs. Ostruska has had 2 wonderful children and has still always found time to be there for us. She taught my classmates and me to believe in ourselves. And today, I am very proud to say that with her help, each and every one of us has been accepted into college. Because of her support, I will be attending Northeastern University in the fall. This wasn't an easy road by any means. We met freshman year, uncertain about high school and awkwardly trying to make new friends. But she immediately commanded the classroom that was in a way unlike any teacher I've ever had before. She makes us feel heard and important. Mrs. Ostruska cultivated a relationship with each individual student over the course of high school and addressed each concern without batting an eye. Her ability to deal with our complaints and make jokes while also teaching us life lessons is something I will never forget. Our Avid class has become a family over the course of high school, with Mrs. Ostruska being a mother figure for all of us. I strongly believe that she is very deserving of this award, and I'm proud and thankful to have been her student. I am very honored to introduce Mrs. Megan Ostruska.
Thank you, Jerry. Northeastern doesn't even know it's going to hit in the fall. The past 2 weeks have been a very humbling experience. When I received the call from the committee informing me that I had been selected as a distinguished teacher, I was immediately humbled by my 1-year-old son. As any parent in the audience can verify, any moment of ego or self-congratulations can quickly be diminished when you're peed on. Thank you, Teddy. However, as days went by and this feeling of humility remained, I had to question why I was feeling this way, and like any teacher, I immediately began to reflect upon the situation. Before long, I realized that the reason why I feel so humbled by having my peers, students, community members, administrators, and others that I respect speak so kindly about me is because teaching is not a solo sport. In short, I'm not used to the individual praise. This may sound odd to some of the audience, maybe thinking back to their educational experiences. To many, the image of a teacher is entirely individual, and many of you are probably visualizing one person standing in front of a classroom or breezing around the room to facilitate group work. Yet I think it's important to clarify that while the act of teaching is individual, teaching is a team sport. That's why I felt so uncomfortable with this individual praise. While I'm undeniably grateful and flattered for your kind words, you all forgot the rest of my team. So I would just like to take a minute to thank my team. And I have to be honest that my teaching team is pretty amazing. I've had the privilege to collaborate and learn from some phenomenal teachers over the past 12 years. These people have helped me, challenged me, and supported me. I'm grateful to Carol Sutton, who let me camp out in front of her file cabinet during my first year as a teacher, allowing me free reign over her materials. I'm grateful to Ellen Johnsmeyer, my teaching partner for 11 years, who did everything from help me prepare for my first parent meeting to helping me ease back into the work after maternity leave. I'm grateful for the teachers in my department who are so willing to share their materials and ideas. I can't tell you how many times I have emails from Courtney Powers, Christina Downing, or Kathy Mendez with lesson ideas or worksheets. The phrase, "feel free to use or ignore," is used quite frequently. I love that I can log onto my email and see maps shared by John Herman or resources from Ian Tiedemann. My teaching team is supportive, thoughtful, and challenges me to be better on a daily basis. This team was only enhanced when I had the pleasure of becoming an Avid teacher. In short, the Avid teachers fully embrace the program's emphasis on collaboration. Whether it's words of wisdom from Frank Kovac or Ken Alcorn, a collab with Kim Malera, or the guidance of Mara Subak, the strength of this team knows no bounds. I'm so grateful for all the people that I've worked with over the years. My social studies and my Avid colleagues who build me up, and my office mates who make me laugh on a daily basis and remind me that teaching and learning should be fun. These people are my teaching team, and every single day I'm grateful that I work in a profession where we believe in helping each other to succeed. To have Jerry stand up here and say such amazing, nice things about me is amazing, but it wouldn't be possible without all of the people who build me up every single day. So thank you to my teaching family and to my real family, who many of whom also happen to be teachers. My husband TJ, who works here at Central Middle School, my kids Piper and Teddy, my sister Tara, who works at Western, and my parents. Thank you for all of my love, your love and support. Thank you.
Let me just say this name right. People like to call her food, but her name is Jennifer Donnett.
Hi. I'm here to talk about Chris Powers. One fifth grade student said, she knows I can do it, even when I don't know I can do it. Even though I'm a literacy specialist and Chris Powers is a music teacher, she inspires me to be a better teacher, to work harder, and to help all students find the special something inside of them that they didn't even know they had. Chris wears many hats at Cost Cobb School. She is a music teacher, a band teacher, the leader of the Cost Cobb School Chorus, and the Greenwich Public Schools Honor Choir co-leader. In addition to the other extra jobs she elects to take on. Chris is a leader at our school by going above and beyond what is expected in all that she does. Her colleagues and students look to her for guidance, positivity, and that little push when we aren't sure we can do something. This has been a unique year for Cost Cobb School. We celebrated the 25-year anniversary since Cost Cobb School reopened after a devastating fire. Chris enthusiastically co-chaired the 2-year-long committee that planned the event. She contacted community members, alumni, teachers, retired teachers, elected officials, and anyone she could think of to invite them to a huge picnic-style celebration. Chris personally welcomed everyone and led them on tours of the school, reminiscing about the old days. She didn't get to reflect on her hard work for long because just a week after that celebration, Cost Cobb School flooded. The classroom that was hit the hardest was Chris's. The massive amounts of water completely destroyed her storage closet and everything inside of it. Her musical supplies were in there, plus Chris directs our school play every year, and inside that closet held costumes and sets, all handmade by Chris or volunteers she organized. Hours and hours of work destroyed beyond repair. As I watched her sorting through the soaked artifacts she had collected over the years, I was struck by how positive she stayed. Years of supplies, irreplaceable, one-of-a-kind things were gone, but Chris pushed forward to what had to be done instead of choosing to wallow in the devastation, which she had every right to do. Her positivity helped pull us together as a staff and reminded us that Cost Cobb made it through the fire and we will make it through the flood. Students and teachers at Cost Cobb School are so lucky to know Chris and to get to work and learn from her every day. Chris Powers.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh, let me see them. Well, as Jean said, this was the year we should have invited James Taylor, Fire and Rain. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Powers, and I've been a music teacher in the Greenwich Public Schools since 1998. I know I don't look it. I feel so honored to have been selected as a distinguished teacher this year. It truly means the world to me. I would like to thank my friend and colleague, Jen Donnett, who took the time out of her busy schedule. And I should mention, she has 4 kids, and is a teacher, to nominate me, so thank you. I would also like to thank Cost Cobb parent and fellow musician Anitra Brooks, as well as Laura Newell, the Art and Music Program Coordinator, for seconding the nomination. Thank you to the Distinguished Teacher Committee, Mr. Mayo, and the members of the Board of Education for this very prestigious award. Over the years, I've been so fortunate to teach at many of the elementary schools in our district, but my home away from home for the past 21 years has been Cos Cob School. And you want to know what makes Cos Cob School so special? Our wonderful sense of community. First and foremost, as educators, we all know the importance, something's fuzzy, we all know the importance of building a classroom community with our students. It is an essential component for each student's success on their educational journey. When students feel safe and cared for, they are more willing to take risks and step out of their comfort zone. This is no more evident than when it comes to time to audition for the Cos Cob School 5th grade play. The musical at our school is sort of a rite of passage, a tradition that has gone on for decades, so way before I got there. These students proudly take the skills they have learned in their music class, and in the auditions and rehearsals, they sing with confidence, they dance with joy, and more importantly, they work together as a team to produce something much bigger than themselves. You have never seen a community come together as they do for this production, all with one focus, to help the students of Cos Cob School shine. We have a team of dedicated staff members, parents, some of them, they don't even have kids in our school anymore. Former students, musicians like Miss Kate Mizraki, one of our distinguished teachers. And we all work together as a team to support our students. Speaking of community, this year we celebrated the 25th anniversary of the reopening of our new school after it had been ravaged by a fire in 1990. I was so fortunate to be able to co-chair this celebration with my dear friend, Sheila Badiak, along with members of our PTA, and it was quite a celebration. We had teachers and parents from years and years ago in attendance. It was really amazing to see everyone mingling, reminiscing, sharing stories of the fire, and how our community together faced the challenges of rebuilding, just as we did this past October. Cos Cob is and has always been a resilient, strong, and unified community. I'm so thankful to have an incredibly supportive administration in Mr. Gene Schmidt and Mr. Mike Reed, and all of the wonderful administrators who have come before them. I also feel so blessed to work with wonderful colleagues at Cos Cob School, and also in the music department, many of whom have become friends like family over the years. Thank you also to my wonderful students, for whom the community comes together each day with purpose, collaboration, and joy. I would like to congratulate my fellow nominees. I am so thankful that our wonderful Greenwich community has acknowledged all of your hard work and dedication to your students by way of this beautiful ceremony. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to my wonderful family, my Aunt Alice, who has been a constant in my life, and to my boys, Jed, Jay, and Tommy, who put up with my crazy. This is certainly a special milestone in my career, and one that I will never forget. Thank you so much for this incredible honor.
Last nominator, Karen Philbin Skibo.
Thank you to the Distinguished Teacher Award Committee and everyone who helped make this very important honor possible. And thank you to Ms. Vale, whose brilliance has always been a beacon of light and inflamed my passion for education at times when as a parent it was challenged. Ms. Vale is an educator who upholds her passion to grow innovative practices necessary for successful leadership to transform the way teachers educate and students learn. Her ability to reach and inspire all of her students is one of her greatest assets. She is truly deserving of this honor. Unknown to many of us, but certainly not a surprise, Ms. Vale touts a lengthy and notable body of work within the education community. It includes leadership and mentoring, CES, team, model classrooms, action research labs, pilot programs, grant writing, curriculum councils and committees, TEP, GPT, DLAC, TAC, professional learning and lectures, too many to list, keynote speaking engagements for the Connecticut Board of Education Conference, Mercy College, TED Master Classes and Talks. She is an honorary selectee who attended Harvard's UDL course to hone her commitment to differentiation, eliminating barriers in design, and making curriculum accessible to all. As a current honorary nominee, she hopes to be selected to share her passion and vision on a global platform at ISTE's 2019 Bold Educators Activate Change Conference. As one distinguished teacher notes, at the heart of everything she does, Ms. Vale always places the learner at the core of everything she does. Yes, for non-educators in the room like myself, this is difficult to understand, but nevertheless, extremely accomplished, important, and impactful. Hashtag super awesome. Or, said more simply, through the many different lenses and voices of her colleagues, Ms. Vale is an educator that comes along once in a lifetime. She is a trailblazer, creative thinker, paving the way for GPS to move toward a one-on-one ratio, so all students have equal access and rise to the challenge. She is a true partner, collaborator, all while nurturing those around her. An educator that many seek when it comes to lifting our teaching and learning because she knows it directly impacts the learner. She has led the way in changing teacher practice and having significant impact on student growth, remarkably double in single years growth in a couple of short months. Through the parent lens, Ms. Vale is the teacher students and parents hold their breath to get. Ms. Vale understands the power of connection and that communication is the critical key to bringing people together. Her passion and love for her career and school family impels her to go above and beyond and welcome partnerships as she builds deep, respectful, lifelong bonds. She has this unique ability to always meet students where they are and guide them to rise to any occasion. She works tirelessly to get the absolute best out of them, treating them as the most important person in the world. Through Ms. Vale's and her students' shared lens, students are empowered to be accountable for their own thoughts and ideas, successes and failures, and to engineer their own solutions while reaching for the stars. I've learned that students derive a heightened understanding of their abilities from reflecting on their obstacles. A student from the class of 16 summed up the 5V spirit. I won't rest until my good becomes better and my better becomes my best. A high school sophomore writes, I gained strength and passion for math through her patience, diligence, and kindness, and it has been my favorite subject since. Class of 19, I am successful because Ms. Vale stayed after school to study with me. She helped me believe in myself and took extra time to help me stand up for my education. This is Ms. Vale's words again. Reimagining the curriculum, I remind my students anything is possible. I believe in creating meaningful learning experiences to motivate all learners to move from a general understanding of the curriculum. I have learned for a high level of achievement to occur, students need meaningful tasks that will help them apply their understandings on a greater scale. She thoughtfully designs these experiences across all subject areas. As my daughter, Siobhan Skivo, class of 19, says, Ms. Vale gave me a chance to be curious and learn amazing things in ways that make me feel like I am more than just a student. In science, I am really a scientist. Or as my son, Frank Caden Skivo, class of 17, shares, Miss Vale gave me the greatest gift. She taught me that my voice matters and how to positively and effectively advocate for myself. Please join me in welcoming the magic guiding students to reach for the stars, Miss Vale.
I think Kara covered it. According to Darius Foro, quote, "Life is too short to not do something that matters." This mentality was ingrained in me from an early age, as the belief that true happiness is found when we place service above self. As a young girl, I would spend my summers helping teacher Susan Whalen set up her bulletin boards for the upcoming school year. Carefully placing words of inspiration and cutout hearts had me intrigued with all the creative possibilities that this amazing profession had to offer. In middle school, I had the opportunity to capitalize on my piquing interest in serving others. Mrs. Carpenter, my fabulous English teacher, not only taught me how to uncover important themes in the books that we read, but how we could use this knowledge to enrich the lives of others. Once I arrived at Greenwich High School, I became the vision of the graduate, working with incredibly selfless teachers and administrators who helped secure my beliefs about education. Some of them are sitting right here. Education is power. It is relationships, and it is an unfaltering willingness to improve the lives of others. I could not be more proud to be standing up here today and knowing that there are so many professionals who are here with me today who have been integral parts of my journey. It was their service, their sacrifice, that taught me how much it matters to do something in serving others. When I joined my Parkway School family, after working with my Hamilton Avenue School family, I knew I was so very fortunate to be able to learn alongside some of the most caring and dedicated people that I know. Teachers like myself who were so excited about making an impact on the lives of others. Most importantly, I would like to recognize those who served as role models for me throughout this process. Those that when it came to putting others' needs before their own, they made that a top priority. My heartfelt gratitude to Kara Philbin-Skibo and her family, whose nomination and hard work are the reason that I'm standing up here in front of you today. Thank you to my administrators, past and present, but especially Mrs. Granville and Mr. Libby. Thank you for always teaching me the true meaning of being learning partners. Thank you to Mrs. Parisi for her mentorship and helping me to see that anything is possible. Thank you to Mrs. Pierce and Ms. Ackroyd and also Ms. Mizuraki. You have always, always given me the courage to try new things and taught me that anything is possible. Thank you to my husband, Chris, and my mother and father, nurturing all of my innovative ideas and whom have always fiercely guarded my heart. And most importantly, to 5B students past and present. You breathe life into me each and every day. It is because of you that I jump out of bed every morning. It is because of you that I go to bed each night feeling supremely confident in the world that I am growing old in. Therefore, this is not about me, but this recognition is for you. We got this.
Board of Education Chairperson, Peter Bernstein.
So Kim gives me 1 minute, but she knows I'm not going to listen, so I promise it'll be worth it. All right, so before I get to our distinguished teachers, I actually want to thank the Distinguished Teacher Committee and particularly Blakely. They actually have one of the hardest jobs in town, if you can believe that. They have to pick 6 exemplary role models from among a group that's nominated. This is no easy task because we have a lot of amazing teachers. You're hearing 6 stories today. We have 900 plus amazing teachers. These are 6 we're honoring today, and I couldn't be prouder of them. Now, as I'm a former nominator, and I'm likely a future nominator. I know all the effort that it takes to pull the package together, but I think the hardest part is actually convincing the teachers to write about themselves for the nomination, right? Okay, so self-reflection is especially difficult when what makes these 6 individuals amazing, it is in many ways instinctive. They may not even realize they're doing it most of the time. They engage with each and every one of their students in a different way. You've heard them talk about their role models and how that's moved them. They're doing that. They're modeling that behavior. And let me tell you, your students are going to remember you for the rest of their entire lives. Your classes may not know it now, but one day they will know that you went above and beyond for them. Maybe you instilled a passion in them that wasn't there before. Maybe you gave them tools they didn't actually have when they came into your room. Or maybe you reinforced some good work ethic that they've got. Whatever it is, your students are going to remember you. So I've previously mentioned in some of the other places I've had to speak, Distinguished Teachers last year, Convocation, that for me, my 2nd grade teacher was an inspiration. Lucy Scaramouche, she's passed away because I'm old. She wasn't, I was. But I still remember writing and illustrating a book in her classroom. That's right, I am a published author. I don't know if everybody didn't know that. We wrote the books. She then typed it out and mimeographed it, not copied, mimeographed it. And then we colored on the pages and we bound the books. And I still have mine. Right here. 2nd grade. Okay? So you make your students right in your classroom. Anyway, one day the Happy Smurf Town is going to be a bestseller. Right. You really want to read that? All right. My kids actually read it with glee. They didn't believe that I wrote it, by the way, because the first written page is, let me read it to you, A Child Thinks. Okay? All right. So what I didn't know until much later on, way past 2nd grade, was that this book actually wasn't in the curriculum. This wasn't something we were supposed to be doing. This was something she did to connect her students to reading and writing. And by the way, those are skills I absolutely still use today. I might have even used some of them right now. So please keep inspiring your students with what you do. Inspire your fellow teachers. You're inspiring us. Your work is impactful, and it makes a real long-term difference in your students' lives. You may not see that every day. Sometimes they're challenging. I've got 2 at home, I know. But really the impact that you make is truly meaningful. So thank you for everything you do. With that, I want to invite all of you to a reception in the cafeteria where we can mingle and honor them some more. So thank you very much.
One more time, thank you very much, everyone, for coming, and we'll see you outside in the Galleria.